I am definitely more leaning right.
This is gross, and I stopped going to that gym.
We got lucky with our channel because we have American audience now as well.
What gender they want to be, and if they want to be he, she, or called a cat.
Still getting comments from locals saying, okay, who cares? It's not happening here. I'm like, yes, it is.
Get into
My
other
God, I
countries.
hear it and I feel like school is such a scam.
I must say that Cyprus is getting conquered by Lebanese people.
We stopped referring to sexual activity as something sacred.
I feel like it's really important to have sexual education.
Men and women need each other at the end of the day. That's the only way to function. And now you see it's falling apart.
Hi everyone, so today we have Daily Freddo with us.
Daily Freddo, all the cameras.
Yours is there, by the way. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm very happy that you're here. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. Actually, I don't know if you know Mauve Management. It's like a marketing company in Nicosia.
Okay.
And
yes, I do know.
he was the one that recommended you to me. And he was like, reach out to her because she's kind of popular right now.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, wow. And he recommended to me Orlova as well. But Margarita Orlova, the food reviewer, I already had her recorded by that time.
Yeah.
And you were one of the people that he recommended me to interview.
I didn't realize I was popular at the moment.
You are.
You're welcome.
Well, you are. He was like, consider her because she's kind of good now in the market. So I was like, okay, yeah. And then I reached out. And I was like, maybe she's not going to say yes. But you were like, so, you were so open.
Yes,
of
course. No.
That's amazing. Thank you.
I like to talk.
Can you tell us a bit about yourself, what you're doing, and what's your like niche now and stuff like that?
Sure. We forgive. Yes, sure. So my name is Kasia. In Polish, we say Kasia. But in Cyprus, we don't say Kasia because they hear it Kasia and they assume it's a box. So yes, so it's Kasia, Kas, whatever you want to call me. I'm originally from Poland, but I've been living in Cyprus for almost 20 years now.
So you know Greek?
I'm sorry?
Do you know Greek?
I do.
Okay.
Milao.
Okay.
Milo.
Kalo. Kalo.
But yeah, I don't consider myself like Cypriot, whatever. I'm Polish. I'm still kind of trying to find my footing in Cyprus. I'm here almost 20 years, but still I'm discovering new things about Cyprus, about Cypriots. There's so much going on here. And was so much going on that I decided that I need to make a YouTube channel about it. Originally, my channel was supposed to be this, not a guide for people who don't speak Greek in Cyprus, but there were a lot of things going on, like with protests, let's say, or someone set some embassy on fire and things like this, and you couldn't find proper coverage in English of it. Nobody was talking about it. There were no comments, There wasn't a YouTuber who would cover something that is going on here as serious things or funny things or viral things. In English, and there are so many locals here in Cyprus that don't speak Greek. Yes, I know maybe it's not ideal because, you go to a restaurant, you're ordering in a restaurant and you can't order in Greek, you need to order in English. That's not ideal, but it is the situation. So I'm like, okay, let's create something like that. So originally, if you see the first episodes of Daily Freddo, that's what it was supposed to be. But then it kind of turned around because my true fire and passion came out for trying to end wokeness in life and in the world. So now it's kind of like comparing, because still Cyprus and the country I am from, Poland, are considered more conservative because of the culture here, because we still cultivate traditions and so on, compared to what's going on in America. Oh my God. Every time I hear news coming from America, Canada, Germany, or any liberal countries, I'm just like, what? So I decided, you know what? Let's comment on what's going on in the world, these viral things. But from my perspective, I don't consider myself conservative politically, let's say, but I am definitely more leaning right than left. Definitely, especially today. in our times. And I know that, Cyprus generally is also more conservative, even though things are changing.
Things are changing, yeah, but Cypriots are still pretty close-minded, I
Yes.
think. Because we're small.
Yes.
Bro, in every podcast I say that Cyprus is small, and it is the truth.
Yes,
So
it is small.
we have a very small, we're not broad, but I feel like if Cypriots would open their minds a bit, then we would be even more broad.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I see it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, taking a risk and opening a YouTube channel, but, it's probably was risky because what were you doing before that?
Well, oh my God, what haven't I been doing? Okay, so originally I'm educated in music. I finished music school in Poland. So I played in like orchestra, I played violin, viola, piano, and then I went to study illustration. I was very artistic, so I was an artistic soul. I went to study illustration. I got a degree with honors from illustration. Then I went into fashion because, again, artistry. So I was modeling for many years. Then, I was also backstage and I was learning about the whole thing. And then once I came to Cyprus, I continued modeling here because I was living in London for a long time.
Where did you model? What company?
I was with Zone Models in London. This was
Okay.
my mother agency, and I did like Fashion Week and all the stuff.
What about Cyprus?
In Cyprus, I wasn't working with agency.
Oh, you weren't working.
No,
So
I
you
was modeling here, but
Okay.
freelance.
Okay.
I wasn't with any agency, but I did everything in Cyprus basically for a few years. I've met many lovely people in the industry, like still dear to my heart. I worked with many magazines and like fashion brands, boutiques, and so on. I worked for a long time with one of the top luxury boutiques in Limassol. I don't know if I can tell the name. I'll tell the name. First Boutique.
Oh, I've heard about it.
Yes,
I've heard about it. Yeah.
amazing bunch of people and talents, and they are expanding. They have few boutiques now, I think.
Yes.
They're doing amazingly. They bring, super high fashion brands. So
the ones that we don't have here.
yes.
Because Cyprus can't afford.
Yeah. They gave me a chance because I modeled for them and their social media manager quit. And I was like, I want to do it. I know everything about your designers. I know everything. And I can learn whatever I don't know.
Yes.
So they were like, okay, do it.
Why not?
So self-taught, I climbed from being social media manager there. Today I worked as a marketing director and CMO of a company. So I'm still doing that.
And you have the channel also.
Yes,
like a second thing, or
it is a second thing. It is an extra thing at the moment. Although I'm spending so much time creating a lot of content, because I would like it to become my first thing.
Yes,
it's the ultimate goal because I really enjoy it. But yeah, I'm like wearing many hats at the moment.
Yeah. Also, can I ask you something? I don't know if you don't wanna answer. It's okay. I understand. Is this channel profitable right now?
It makes some profit. It makes
Because-
some money.
Yeah, because I when we got on YouTube, I started studying, the demographics and what content you need in order to start getting an amount and how much do you get per this and that. And actually, talking with 2J, he mentioned that it's much easier to start getting money now from YouTube than it was before.
Yeah.
And the requirements are, I think it's 500 followers, 3,000 watching hours, and or 3 uploads in between 90 days, something like that, which are requirements.
Yeah.
So are you getting anything? I mean,
we got really, really lucky or smart. I don't know, because when we just started the channel, there was this huge thing happening with Cleopatra on Netflix.
Cleopatra.
Yes, it was a documentary produced by Jada Pinkett Smith, Will Smith's wife.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and she decided Cleopatra was black, was a black woman, and she did a documentary around that. That she was a black woman, she was a black queen, and Greeks flipped out because Cleopatra was, Macedonian descent.
Yeah.
And Egyptians flipped out.
Egyptians.
Okay, everyone flipped out from our side of the world. So I covered the topic, and it went it was the third episode on my channel. It went bonkers viral. Every episode, because I did like 2 or 3 episodes about it.
Yeah.
The first one got like 80,000 views. The second one, 250,000, and it was brand new channel. So we got monetized immediately, almost immediately. And we got American audience, huge chunk of American audience, because they were interested, how we perceive this whole, scandal. Because there were a lot of American YouTubers that were covering the topic, but not a lot of Greek, like from us here.
Yeah.
So that's why it went viral and it got really popular. So now when we're talking about profitable YouTube channel, it really depends on your CPM. So how much money you get per 1,000 views, right?
Yeah.
In Cyprus, I know this amount is much lower. I think it's maybe €1 per 1,000 views. I'm not sure. But if it's an American audience, let's say, it starts at like €6 and more and up. So it depends. And also depends, how many ads plays on your video and so on. But yeah, we got lucky with our channel because we have American audience now as well. Very international audience, but a lot of, I think half of it is Americans.
But wow. So from here you reached to America. That's kind of amazing actually. So I'm kind of lagging because I'm like tired. No, I am tired. I get tired throughout the whole week because I go to school in Nicosia, and then every day I wake up, I go there, I come back.
So Limassol Nicosia.
No. It's actually
Larnaca
Nicosia, Larnaca every day. Every bloody day I do this.
What do you study?
I'm in school.
Are you still in school?
I'm still in school.
Baby Gen Zs.
Baby Gen Zs, yeah.
How is school right now? What is happening at school?
Depends what. You mean education? Or are we... Because I know that's also one of your heated topics on your channel.
It is.
Education, system of education, or people that are in the school? Because I can comment on anything. Because the environment is very different, And I also know the environment in public schools, and I know the environment in private schools.
Yeah.
And my school is pretty prestigious. Like, we have pretty prestige people there. So if we're talking about people, like students, we're all very close because we're a very small school. If we're talking about the system, we pay so much money to go there.
Yeah.
And yet the school sometimes says, we don't have money for that, we don't have money for this. So it is a profitable school. So in that sense, I feel like we are like getting, how do I say this in English? Like they rip us off. I'm sorry. Okay. They rip off money from us.
Yes.
I think it's like 17 grand per year, 17K per year. But it's a good school. I'm not dissing my school. I love my school. So. Yeah. But yeah, what do you think about the Cypriot system? Well, let's talk about the public one first, because I feel like the public one is...
Public is the bigger problem.
Public is the bigger problem
well,
than private.
It depends how you look at it. Because I heard as well that the, private British schools really adapt the Western ways and
it also depends which private school you go to, because we have a bunch here. Like we have Pascal and my school that offers, for example, the IB diploma that no other school offers. So that's a really big opportunity, because if you want to go to England, you don't have to do a foundation year, which is 4 years. You can do 3 years and that's it. Yeah. Where else, like, I don't know, IGCSE and A-levels are a bit harder to get into other countries.
I hear it and I feel like school is such a scam. I went through it. I went through everything. I went through studies. But really, at the end of the day, I feel like it's a scam. And it's just like someone sits there and like, how do we extract as much money as we can out of them? Just like making them think they need this freaking diploma.
You know that public school teachers are getting paid way, way more than private school teachers.
I didn't know that.
Yes. Public schools pay their teachers around 2,000 euros and more,
which is also funny, but
but it's a way better salary than, for example, private schools that pay 1,300 to 1,500 euro per month.
That's ridiculous. I didn't know.
It is ridiculous, but it's like that, and that's one of the reasons why teachers from private schools now are going to public schools. Because, but there are teachers that go to public schools and come back to private schools because of the conditions.
Yeah. Well, I read a study recently, which, you know, we know how studies go.
Yeah.
Someone will pay for that study to get something out of it. But generally, it's a PISA study that said that in 2022, there were 61% of Cypriot students, 15-year-olds specifically, that couldn't read well.
Was that on the newspaper recently?
Yes, it was on,
I think I've read...
Cyprus Mail.
Yes, I have that. We had that newspaper. Someone brought it into our school.
Yeah.
And we were showing it to everyone. And then we were like, okay, this is probably based on the public schools, you know, not the private.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a private
I would
sector.
say that it's a public sector. But if it's true,
Yeah.
oh my God. You know, oh my God.
I know. So,
because we're also small population. It's not like...
We are a small population, that's the thing. But also, I feel like the students that go to public schools are not or don't put as much effort because I guess they think that Cyprus is their only way of getting out there. So they want to stay here. And also the guys, you know, they go to the army after school and then they decide what they want to do in life. So that I also feel like that plays a role. But okay, I mean, public schools, you don't pay to go there. And that's why the conditions are that bad, let's say.
Yeah.
But I feel like maybe the quality of the teaching is also a bit trash.
I would say that because, you know, I think the role of a teacher and the role of education system is to inject that want to learn, yeah? If you go to school, you need to find passion in what you're doing. It's the same at work. If you're going to your work, okay, you will get paid, but you will not enjoy it. Yeah. You will do a shitty job because you're working at something that you don't like. It's the same with school.
Yeah.
It's so generalized. It's so corrupt that, yes, students will not be thriving. I believe it's getting worse and worse. And now we have people putting so much emphasis on, for example, sexual education. All of a sudden, this is the most important thing to learn. with results in maths, in reading, and in sciences so low. So, no, let's focus on sexual education. People need to know at ages of 4 to 12, you know, the explicit details of...
I've heard, I don't know if this is in Cyprus, but I've heard that children at the age of 3 and 4 are given now the permission to decide who they are, like bi, gay, lesbian, or they, them, he, she, and etc. Or is that... I've heard that. I don't know if it's true. So again, like...
From my research, because I did also an episode about it, so I researched it. In Cyprus, I know that they based some guidelines on the World Health Organization guidelines, but it wasn't as bad. Okay, there is a difference. So, for example, in World Health Organization guidelines for sexual education in Europe, you're teaching 4-year-olds about masturbation, about gender, you know, like you can decide what you are and things like everything from 4 years old. That's preschool, guys.
But I don't think that's correct, because how can a 4-year-old
It's horrific.
But you can't, like me at 4 years old, I couldn't decide if I want to go to the bathroom or not, you know? How can a 4-year-old decide what gender they want to be? And if they want to be he, she, or called a cat, like it's pretty. I don't know. It's not even self-explanatory for me.
No, it's abuse.
It's bizarre.
To me.
It's bizarre.
It's horrific what's going on. And you know, I started talking about these things a few months ago, and I was still getting comments from locals saying, "Okay, who cares? It's not happening here." I'm like, "Yes, it is." And not long after, the new guidelines for sexual education in Cyprus came out. And they weren't that different. Okay, the more explicit stuff were happening later, let's say to 9 to 12 age. But still, I asked in my episode, I'm like, do you know any 12-year-old boy who didn't figure it out by himself? How to do this stuff in the bathroom by himself? Do we need a stranger in the class in front of everyone, you know, in front of his peers in classroom, talking about these things? Do you need to learn about it? You don't. You can figure it out all on your own. Okay. Yes, I support sexual education when it comes to your body development,
I also agree
and
with
like
that.
pregnancy and STDs and things like, yes, at age appropriate.
No, I think sexual education should happen, and in fact I think
Absolutely.
Cyprus, okay, again, I don't know about I don't know, does Ukraine do that, Borys? No? Okay, so even Ukraine doesn't have sexual education. But again, I feel like it's really important to have sexual education. Let's say starting from high school.
Yeah.
So we're talking about 7th or 8th grade. In some places it's called middle school.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to start doing that because there are many teen pregnancies.
Yeah.
And there are many teens that are getting, what are they called? Like, I know the word in Russian, for fuck's sake.
Tell me in Russian, maybe I'll know.
Ну, типа, заболевания хронические, которые, ну, через половые
To protect
акты.
yourself
Yeah,
from
like,
sexually
what is it
transmitted
called?
diseases.
Yeah, sexual transmitted diseases.
Oh
That.
my god, I speak Russian?
And I feel like they're not educated about that. So, definitely, for sure, there has to be an integration of that.
But you see, there is a problem here as well, because how come we stopped teaching that sex is something used for procreation when you know, find your partner, when you get married? I'm not saying, like, I'm not advocating, you know, only sex after marriage and things like this, but we stopped referring to sexual activity as something sacred and something that has a use, but it's very much like an activity that you will do from 13 years. It's normal. So you need condoms and you need to know about sexually transmitted disease because you will left and right. Sorry.
It's fine.
You know, because you will be doing it left and right with everybody. So you need to know these things. But this is how we're approaching sexual activity now with teenagers. Whereas when I had my sexual education in Poland, it was at 12 years old and it was about puberty, about, you know, that if you will want to get pregnant one day because you will find your partner, this is how you measure your cycle. This is the, you know, ovulation. That's how we were taught about sex. It wasn't recreational. It wasn't, you know, holiday activity, that's what it's referred to, like, today, even at schools. This is what bothers me.
Actually, before I moved to a school in Nicosia, I was in a school here in Larnaca American Academy, and we had our sex ed in 5th grade. Mm-hmm. And what they did was, well, the first couple of lessons, it was all together, boys and girls. And then there was a separation. The guys were together in a class, the girls were together in another class, and we would learn about girl parts and how that works. And the guys in another class will learn about guy parts and how that works.
Yeah.
I think that's correct.
I agree.
In some way, because in 5th grade it's funny. Even the word poop is funny, you know? So I feel like that was the correct thing to do. Yeah. And if more schools, and even if publics, because you know how many teens are pregnant in public schools? It's insane. Like, and I think that's one of the reasons why, because they're lacking of sexual education. And it's not that, like, I'm just gonna go and have sex with him without a condom. It's just that they don't think. But if someone told them about it, again, maybe parents don't talk. And I also feel like it's important to hear those things from your parents.
Amen.
Rather than from teachers and from your school. Yes. First, it has to be parents. Okay, there are parents that are parents and they're not made to be parents, you know what I mean? So, like, they give birth to your child and then they just, you go with the flow, you learn by yourself. I think that's wrong. I think it's important to talk about those things. And even with figuring out if you're gay or lesbian. Okay, some people don't accept it, I guess. Some people are against that. Some parents, especially from not the Gen Z generation, we're talking about the generations before, they don't like, especially in Cyprus.
I also say that first, what we should start with is educating the parents. And so then they can pass the knowledge on to their kids, especially very young kids.
Yep.
We see, okay, the teachers at school say that we should be talking to our kid about this. Either, you know, I decide if I'm comfortable with that, if my kid is ready for that conversation or not. I don't leave it up to strangers. Like, I would literally lose my mind if I found out, because I have a 4-year-old son. If I found out that someone was talking to him about these, you know, things that he shouldn't know at this age, I would literally lose my mind. I would, because we transferred our kids to a different school now, and that was one of the questions I asked. I'm like, how is the sexual education? Do you, like, embrace it here? And they were like, no, we're not doing that here. I'm like, okay, good.
What school is he in? If you want to say, if you don't.
I don't know.
Okay, don't say. But he's
very
4, so he's
protective.
small, right?
No, he's in a nursery still.
Nursery. Okay, wait. When do they get out of nursery? I think first grade is 6 years old. Right?
Yes, he's still in nursery. You need to be 6 years old
to go to first class.
preschool.
I think the preschool.
No, to go to
First
primary.
class.
Yes, to
Primary,
go to primary
yeah,
school.
first grade.
And year before that is the preschool.
Preschool, and then it's nursery, which is yeah.
Bro,
people here in Cyprus, they give their kids away at 4 months to nurseries.
Yeah.
And I think it's the most. I also think that's not correct.
I cried so hard. I cried.
No.
Yes. So I had my daughter. When she was 4 months, I had to go back to work.
Does she have a daughter and a son?
Yes, I
How
have
old
2
is your
kids.
daughter?
My daughter is almost 6.
Okay, so she's older than your
Yes,
son, so
yes.
she is in first grade.
She's gonna be, yeah. She's in preschool now. Next year she's going to primary school. So both of them, I had to drop them off at nursery at 4 months old, because this is another thing. I used to be very, very liberal when I was in university.
Mm-hmm.
And I believed in like career. I still believe if a woman wants to do her career and her studies, and yes, of course, do that. But ever since I had kids, my view of the world changed a little bit.
Yeah.
I find that being a mom to my kids, it's much more important than anything else, but I don't have much choice, because the economy and the feminism stepped in and they changed it for us. So now how it's structured, you need at least 2 incomes in family, you know, to go by. So unfortunately, it is what it is. You're paying strangers to raise your kids.
Well, what can you do about it? Like, you can't, I don't know. See, here's the thing. I feel school was integrated so many years ago. We're talking about decades, I think. Like, listen, I hate the person who created school, to be honest, because I also feel like it puts, talking about high schoolers, because I'm in high school right now. I'm taking the IB diploma. I'm actually doing half-half. I'm doing AD and IB. And it's so much stress. And I see the kids that are taking full IB when IB doesn't fully, the IB itself doesn't fully understand what IB is and how they're integrating stress into children that have to think about universities, have to think about getting a 7 out of 7 in a subject, have to think about not failing the diploma, because the failing, it's out of 42 or 45, but the failing is like a 24, 28, I think. And it's so much like stress, and I feel like it's a bit unfair on kids, you know, like why does a diploma have to determine your future in a way, you know? Because my mom...
And it really doesn't.
Unless
you're like in a very specific field.
Yeah.
I've learned. Okay, if you want to be a doctor, you better freaking study your ass
off.
Yeah. I'm not saying. But I'm telling you, I did illustration. I have a degree, so what?
I feel like you're the same like with my mom, because my mom, she ditched school in 9th grade, I think, because in Ukraine you can leave after 9th grade and go to college. What she did was she went to a music conservatory. She finished conservatory and she never worked as a musician.
Yeah.
Never. She became a successful businesswoman, you know, and she gets much more than a musician would get, or than a teacher would get. So she was qualified to be a teacher of dombra. I don't know if you know what dombra is. It's like buzuki, that thing. So yeah, but she never worked. So her diploma doesn't define her. Her diploma doesn't, I don't know, doesn't like restrict her from opportunities.
Yeah, because I feel like we're obligated to make those decisions. Yeah, those decisions for ourselves much too early. You're 18 years old and you're supposed to decide, okay, this is what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life.
Yeah, and it's like an obligation right now.
Yeah, it's because you're paying so much money now, and like, I don't know. You know why school was invented the way it is today? It was to create workers. It was to create, you know, almost like soldiers type of workers that will just take the orders and execute, you know, not free thinkers. It's people start waking up from it now, thankfully, but not much is changing it. Yeah. It's still like that. But, you know, with digital age, where people suddenly realize, oh my God, I can go on YouTube and I can just talk crap or do videos or play games, and I can make much more money than a teacher at school, than a doctor, so you see it's this like weird revolution happening at the moment.
Things are changing, but I don't know what's gonna happen in 10 years. I don't know what's gonna happen in 10 years.
Scared.
You're scared, but no. Your children are gonna be the generation of like in 10 years, they're gonna be 16 and 14.
Yeah.
That's going to be a brand new generation. Things are going to be
Brand
much more
new.
worse
Yeah.
than they are now.
It's gonna be different. My opinion on what future looks like changes every day with every news article that we're getting. With really, it's like curveballs, right, left and right. But I'm just worried about people getting dumber, basically. And
I'm worried about the doctors that are studying in med school right now.
with ChatGPT available.
Yes, and with lawyers with high schoolers that want to become lawyers and are not getting the right education to become lawyers.
Yeah.
I'm worried about that. I'm worried about the people that are studying like cybersecurity or like criminalism or whatever, and that want to become policemen. I'm worried about those. I'm not worried about chefs. I don't care. Food is always gonna be food. You're gonna be able to make it. I'm not worried about businessmen that will find a way to get money. I'm not worried about mafia people. Don't care about those at all. I think it was your recent video I saw where you were reacting to a TikTok, or was it a reel or something, where a lady in the gym was with her shorts up to her freaking ass and there was a man right next to her, something like that, I think, and then you were kind of like discussing why are women doing this, as far as I understand.
Yes.
Why did you choose that? Like, what triggered you? Let's start with that.
Well, basically, how do I make choices for the episodes on my channel is whatever triggers me. Whatever bothers me. I honestly, because people a lot of the times ask me what's the niche. And in short, it's like, okay, I'm anti-woke, okay? Yeah. But in general, it's like the social, viral, dumb stuff that I just can't stand looking at without commenting on it. And that was one of them, the gym influencers. Influencers in general started bothering me because it's a little bit different than when it started happening. If you take Chiara Ferragni, let's say, the OG of fashion influencers. That was such a different time, and she's a businesswoman, and she's just so smart, and created her brand, and it's something you could aspire to be. The influencers today is just like, I don't know, festival of fakeness and fake smiles and fake lives, and it's just so annoying. But the gym stuff, I don't like what women are becoming in society because of the unhealthy feminism that is happening. I think it's fourth wave feminism or even fifth wave. It depends how you think about it. But let's say fourth wave feminism is absolutely ridiculous to me. All the free the nipple and get naked and OnlyFans and, sell your feet online and like... all this shit happening at the moment, and what women are being degraded to, what level, and they embrace it as something that makes them liberal and independent and business women. So they go to the gym supposedly to work out, but what they do, they pull up their shorts
so they
as
go to
far
find
up between their butt cheeks as they can. They bend over and they are hoping they will catch a guy on a video, glance at them, just to then smear him on the internet, and like, for what? For views? That's what bothers me. I went much deeper than the gym subject, but it's essentially that women became, not all women.
Okay.
Obviously. But it is a movement, and it's dangerous, and that's why traditional family values are disappearing. That's why masculine men are disappearing. Femininity is disappearing. It's just all a mess.
It is a mess. And actually, one of the reasons why I don't go to the gym, I used to go to the gym when I was, oh my God, I had this story. It was so bad. Okay, I was 12 years old. I was 12. I always looked older for my age, starting from like maybe 11. But anyway, I was 12. I used to go to this gym in Larnaca. And And one day I go to the gym and, there were like guys that were like old men, like 30 years old. We're talking about nearly into their 40s, probably, like big ass muscles, like bulking people and stuff like that. Then I was doing something in the gym. I was like on a trainer thing, whatever it's called. And then I turn around and I see this really old ass guy staring at me and trying to blink at me. And I was like, this is gross, and I stopped going to that gym.
Yeah.
And I will never go to a gym again, probably.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why.
But it happens.
But I'm scared of those.
Yes.
They make me feel uncomfortable. They make me feel like, why the hell are you staring at me? Like, why the hell are you like blinking at me? Like, what is wrong with you? You know?
Yeah.
Can't you see that I'm like small? That
Yes.
I'm like 12 years old. Okay, he didn't know that I was 12 years
Disgusting.
old probably, but he's actually also texting me later on Instagram.
What?
Yeah, and I was like blocking him. Anyway, that's why I stopped going to the gym, and I also feel like it's not safe for women anymore. I'm not trying to like defend women now, but I feel like men are kind of a bit too open in the public now, which makes women scared to, like, I don't know, wear short shorts or wear a crop top or stuff like that. Me, when I go out with my friends and stuff, I try to cover as much as body as possible, because I know that then I will be distracted by men trying to flirt with me. And I also feel like that's an issue. But also women are doing the same thing, so.
I mean, okay, so two things. Definitely the trend that I was talking about, women trying to catch guys staring at them on a video, it started initially from a real thing, because yes, there are creeps and there are women every day that are being attacked by men in general around the world, in anywhere. Okay, on the street, at the gym, at workplaces. I just yesterday read an article that there was a woman that was raped in London Underground on the tube in the morning it was full of people and nobody helped her. Okay?
But how can you not stop that?
No,
that's what
insane.
I don't understand.
So yes, women get attacked and women have to deal with a lot of those things. Every woman. I don't know one girl or a woman that hasn't been abused or assaulted by a man. I really don't know one. I talk with friends.
Yeah.
Everyone has a story similar to yours, or worse, or but everyone has a story. The thing is, I blame it on men used to be taught to be protectors, to be strong, to protect their families, their wives, and now it's different. Now they are taught, if you want to be a girl, you can be a girl, you can be anything. And there is this frustration going on, I believe. So I think these attacks on women and creeps and men being ashamed of their masculinity, it will only go deeper and worse, not better. Yeah. Because of how we're structuring society right now. It used to be woman, feminine energy, taking care of the kids and the house. Woman, Viking, going out, bringing home meat, protecting his wife, and so on. And I'm not saying things used to be perfect back then, and they are horrible now. No, nothing was perfect, but at least we had those family values, the family structure, the traditional family, what we call here today, that we could rely on, and this is where the genders were constructed towards. Yeah. Now it's a shitstorm. Nobody knows who they are. Nobody knows what they're supposed to be. Guys think they will get affirmation if they're going to be more feminine, but then where does the testosterone go? No, I was reading a lot of studies that there are scientists that are documenting these things, and really, there was a speech, I don't remember, before you post, maybe I can send you the reference. There was a guy, he's a scientist and he's a psychologist, and he did a public speech about it. And he said, because of the gender confusion, because of telling boys from the very young age that they can be whatever they want. If you're a girl, you're a girl. If you're a boy, you can like pink. You can play with dolls. You can, confusing them from early age causes the fact that we have more and more pedophiles, that we have more sexually frustrated men, because they don't know what to do with their own nature at this point. They used to have a wife. They were making their kids. They were going to hard labor work. It all made sense for their bodies, for their psychology, for their hormones. Now nothing makes sense. Nothing aligns with our nature anymore. It's all social mess.
Yeah, but I also feel like women that, referring back to that video, that woman was desperate for a certain attention. Yeah. I feel like if women are clever and they reject that type of behavior from a man, the man will most likely stop trying to get the attention, but also I feel like there are women that are desperate for those things for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe they're not fulfilled in their life. Maybe they're just too bored, you know, and like, oh my god, let's go viral because a guy's looking at my ass. For me personally, it sounds very funny. It sounds hilarious and it sounds funny because...
But this is the second thing that I was gonna say as well, because we have this liberation of women, like the more naked you are, the more liberated and strong woman you are, and so on. So maybe before going out, just think what type of attention you want to attract, because if you're going to a club and you're looking for a one night stand, you know you know what clothes to put and so on. And honestly, I don't want to shame women for what they wear and so on, but I think certain level of modesty still applies for both genders.
Yes.
Not only for women, but there has to be certain level.
For sure.
If you don't want that type of attention, if you don't want people to think that you want to sleep, okay, just don't look like that. Yeah. And I know there is going to be so many comments and bashing me for what I'm saying right now, because women can wear whatever. Don't blame victims. And so I don't do that. This is not what I'm getting at. If someone if someone assaults someone, yes, they should go to jail. They should have their parts cut off and all that. I'm completely against that. But I'm also about helping my own luck. I am not going to go half naked, drunk, you know, falling over, throwing up in the middle of the street if I don't want to be attacked, you know, because I fully know that I'm putting myself in danger, you know. So if I'm going to the gym and I'm raising my shorts up, you know, my butt cheeks are showing and I'm bending over, yes, someone will probably look at me, you know. If I'm filming it, I'm going to catch it on video. Yeah. That's what I was getting at. If you're just going to go to the gym and work out and that's all you care about, put a t-shirt on, you know, and like...
Yeah, that makes sense. I think that's a fair answer to this question, because at the end of the day, you know, it goes back and forth, women to men, men to women. So if you are a person that's trying to attract a certain type of attention, you know, you're gonna figure out any way to do it, but to get the attention. So I feel like women are also pushing boundaries and men are also pushing boundaries. So I can't say that it's like only women. Yeah. But I mean... Yeah,
no, both genders definitely. But it's that confusion happening right now, because we, like... in times of my mom, when she was young, you know, yes, she wanted to be a teacher, she was studying to be a teacher, but she also knew that she wanted to get married, to have kids, to find a husband, you know. And now in our times, it's almost like shameful for a woman to think like that. You want to be a housewife? Your goal is to have kids and a husband? Like, you don't need a man, you know, you don't need a man. Why would you? You're a strong woman. But men and women need each other at the end of the day. That's the only way to function. And now you see it's falling apart.
It is, slowly. Well, and the saddest thing and the scariest thing is that we all know it's gonna get worse. We all know it's gonna get worse.
It's the doomsday, when it's gonna happen. That's
no one knows. The next 2-3 decades, maybe somewhere there.
Unfortunately, if we're not gonna stop it, but you see, that's why I have such a huge problem with the sexual education stuff, because now we're literally teaching those stuff to the youngest. Like, we're conditioning kids' brains to think this way. You're still in school. Did you have sexual education here in the new, after the new guidelines came in, or no?
Yes, in 8th grade. Okay. We had a whole unit, I think, on that. Well, we had a class called, I think it was health. I think it was called health something. I'm not sure. Maybe it was just called health. I'm not sure. But it was called something with health. And our last unit in 8th grade was sexual education. And that's the last time that we did sexual education.
And what was the most, like, what's the level it got to?
I think it was in the sexual interaction between men and women. That was the last level. But we also talked about, like, what is safe, what is not safe, what age differences are okay, and stuff like that, you know.
I was reading the World Health Organization guidelines for sexual education in Europe. And what bothered me the most in those guidelines, and if you read them, you will realize this pattern that kind of suggests that kids can give consent to sexual activity, which the first thing you learn is that kids cannot give consent. Like, it's illegal. They cannot. They simply
Isn't
cannot.
it 16? I think it's 16
Yes,
is
but
the age of consent.
It's not written like, oh yeah, you can give consent. It's not like super blunt. It's just kind of, you can figure it out from the way the guidelines are written. So for example, I think it was at 5, you don't always have to say yes if someone wants to touch you. And it's like, you don't always, no, it's written like that. Maybe I can send you a clip from that video when I'm reading it, or like a snippet of it. It's something like that. It's written in these words. So you don't always have to say yes. You don't always have to agree, but that means that it's up to me as a kid.
Yeah.
Or is it up to adults to know what kid can handle? You know?
Yeah. So it's a bit confusing.
No, they are generally horrific. These guidelines, I was going through them, and it was a moment in time where I grew very passionate about it. I know my video was reposted by this Facebook group of parents as well that are completely against this sexual education stuff. So I'm still against it. I will not stop being against it because I have kids. But I've met parents who are okay with it.
Open to it.
Yes. And they're like, no, but kids should know about these things because they should be accepting, and they should know about different people that exist, and they shouldn't offend them. I'm like, no, that's not how I'm raising my kids, okay? They don't need to know yet. They don't. And definitely I'm not going to raise my kids to go through life trying not to offend people. Yeah. Okay? Just think what's logical. Yeah. That's what I'm going to be teaching my kids.
That's fair. I think that's fair. But also different parents, different religions have different beliefs. Yeah. Based on those things, like we know that Muslims have arranged marriages, and we know that I think they're allowed to have sex like only after marriage. But then it also goes for Christians. I think that in the Bible or whatever, it said that sexual interactions are grech.
A sin.
Sorry, yeah.
I do speak Russian, guys.
Oh, yeah. A sin, and that you're not allowed to do that. But then most of the Christians don't follow those guidelines unless they are really super religious, you know?
Look, I'm a Christian, but I'm not a practicing Christian. And I also don't like, when there are debates, let's say, between conservatives and liberals, and Bible is brought up as an argument, it doesn't work for me. It's like saying, it's not like that because you're hurting my feelings. It's not like that because God said so. It's not an argument for me in a debate at all. But I also believe that some of the things said in those religions, so for example, sex after marriage, I think it's a good thing. I know it's not practiced, but I do feel like it was put in place to protect a woman in that case, because let's face it, the less sexual partners you have, the less risks you have of STDs or being assaulted or so on. And you also carry yourself differently if you think that you're trying to find that special someone to, give yourself to. You're also going to live your life much differently than when you're like, I don't care who's, So religion or not, it's still a type of value that I feel should be discussed with your daughters and sons.
For sure.
To not treat it super freely and as it is taught today. Oh, they're going to see it on the internet anyway, and they're going to learn it. They see worse things at 12 than we've ever seen. Okay, whose fault is that? Why don't we fix that part? Why are they having like unlimited screen time watching porn at 9 years old? Like, whose fault is that?
That's crazy. Yeah.
Why don't we fix that problem? Why are we trying to be even worse? Like, okay, since they will learn it already, let's teach it like even earlier. Let's make them aware of it even early. Like, it doesn't make sense to me, you see? It's like all very faulty.
Yeah, no, I agree on that. Yeah. What social issues do you think Cyprus has the most?
Culturalism. That people have certain opinions about other cultures, and it seems to not be going away no matter what you do, how long you live here, and so on. So when I started, I did a video, which is another very important issue in Cyprus, rent prices and property prices. And I did a whole episode about it, also very passionately. And those videos went viral in Cyprus because obviously rent prices went super high in
I think it's
Limassol
because
and
Cyprus
Larnaca.
takes the advantage that we're an island and we're unique and we are so special. And
Exactly.
everything here is so expensive. That's why let's put a rent for a studio for 900 euro.
Yeah.
And luxury life.
The word luxury, I'm so allergic to. You can really, and I'm not only saying it right now, I say it every time I talk about these things because, they slap a word luxury and suddenly it's luxury. No, you're missing a sink in the bathroom. Anyway, but I did this video, and me being here almost 20 years, my kids go to school here, I pay taxes here. I'm basically, whole my life is here. My whole family is here. So I do a video about the rent prices and how bad it's gotten for people and that we should do something about it. And I get comments like, oh, if you don't like it, go back to your country.
Oh, of course.
You know?
No, yeah. Do
you like it then? That's why you're here? You love it? Maybe, line up with me. Like, let's do something about it together, We're just trying to better things. Like, I'm calling things out. Yes, I do it in English. I could do it in Greek. Probably then you would be like, oh, you're broken Greek. There is always something, So I feel this culturalism and the luxury disease.
It's a luxury disease of all τα νησιά. I feel like same with Santorini.
Yeah.
Mykonos.
Yes.
Sorry, I went to Santorini this summer. It's my second time.
You did?
It's my second time.
Girl.
And I'm never going again. And there's a reason. I was wearing these shoes and they were slippery. And in order to go up to Santorini and down to Santorini, you have to walk through this pathway full of shit of donkeys. And I slipped so many times on the shit of donkeys that I told my parents I'm never going there again. And the first time that I went to Santorini, which was in 2021, was during the COVID pandemic times, but we went with the cruise ship from Limassol with Royal Caribbean. The freaking donkey threw me off.
But it's luxury donkeys,
But no, but it's not even. It was enjoyable because I wanted to try the things that was before, like, wow, in the culture, because I love Greece. Yeah. And I love everything about Greeks and I love everything about Cyprus. And to be honest, I actually prefer Greece than Cyprus. When I go to Greece or when I go to Athens, I feel like that's my second home because it's so parallel to Kiev and to Ukraine, and I'm not able to go there now, obviously, because of the war. Yeah. But Santorini, never in my whole entire life again I will go there, unless there will be some kind of other way to get up into the thing. Because
not slipping on donkey
slippery shit. There's telepheric, yes, okay, but not the slipping donkey shit, bro. No, I was crying by the time I went down. I was crying.
Well, they say the biggest problem here in Cyprus now is that we build the luxury properties, and even if they are luxury, that's the problem. You have villas, and you have all these $2, $3, $5, $10 million villas. But you don't have affordable apartments for locals, or like legal immigrants to live in, to raise their families in, to do their activities, whatever. We just have the property for billionaires to buy.
Yeah, but we also have a lot of people coming from Lebanon now.
Yeah.
A lot of Lebanese people. I must say that Cyprus is getting conquered by Lebanese people, in a way that we have a lot of them now, and a lot of them are buying properties. Israel, a lot of Israelis are coming now as well, and Ukrainians, of course, because of the war. So I feel like,
but
we're getting different economies right now as well, in some sense.
Yeah, but that's where you need smart government to use it to the country's advantage rather than, destroy their local people and culture. Because if it's legal immigrants that are coming with money and buying properties, great. It's great for the country economy. Yes. Yeah. But it's only great if the country is taking care of the locals as well at the same time. And this is the missing link. I have my best friend is Lebanese who's been living here all her life with her parents and everything. So I don't look at people migrating here or anywhere through nationality glasses, you know, like I don't care really where you're from. I care what type of person you are.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm saying, like, we don't have to look at it as nationality, because to me, it's a great opportunity for the country if it can be utilized in a good way.
Yeah.
You know,
sure.
But it's not going to be utilized in a good way. It's already falling apart here because locals are paying, 2-bedroom apartment. How much is it now in Limassol? What, 2.5 grand?
Okay, it's also because it's Limassol.
But in Paphos is the same situation.
Okay, well, but if we go to Larnaca, I feel like a 2-bedroom apartment in not a new building would be around maybe 900 to 1,400
but it's still
euro,
crazy.
which is a salary if you work in if you work in a shop, if you work in a restaurant and stuff like that. And
yes.
I stopped watching the news because it's so fucking blackmail. I don't want to watch that shit. I don't want to watch that bullshit. It just depresses me even more. So I just go with the flow. If I see that there is a certain change in society and there's a certain change in the environment that I'm living in, I'm gonna like maybe feel the change, or maybe I'm gonna notice the change, you know?
I think humans are not supposed to know too much in general. So now in digital age, we have access to every little bit of information, every fuck up that goes on, every horrific story, every, attack and explosion and natural disaster. Like, there is so much bombardment from the negativity, the negative side of the news. And I don't think our brains, as a human, you're supposed to take it all in. I don't think we're supposed to see all that at this capacity. I think how it used to be when you were just buying your newspaper in the morning, reading your news and moving on with your day was much healthier than what is happening now, where you're bombarded with content that you don't even seek. This is what I was saying as well on my channel, that, first of all, people are getting dumber because of social media, because there is content produced for money that is just like ridiculous. I mean, really, people dressing as animals and squeaking and throwing food at each other, and like people paying money to see this. Like these content creators, then they make money on it. And you are exposed to it whether you want to or not, because algorithm is bringing it to you. Yeah. Okay. So the same with like viral disastrous news. If people are talking about it, or if people out there want you to see it, you will see it whether you want to or not. Where in older times, you either bought the newspaper or you didn't. Yeah. You had a choice to change the channel. You had a choice not to. It was easier, I think, to deal mentally back then. That's why we have such a rise in mental illness in our times. Because you're exposed into...
Are we talking about like Alzheimer and all those
things?
We're
talking about depression. Let's start with depression, anxiety. That is like literally everyone is sick with it now. And every little kid has it. And ADD, ADHD, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Like everyone has every syndrome possible. Because, yay, big pharma. Man, do you understand how deep we could go here?
No,
like it's many layers. But... essentially, I believe people were not supposed to be exposed to that amount of information and content. It's not healthy for us.
It's going to get worse, though. Again, everything goes back to the fact that it's going to get worse.
Yes.
As we proceed over time, and technology is going to advance even more and more and more and more. How many years ago did we not have smartphones?
Yes.
How many years ago? 30?
Yeah.
Maybe less.
I was in university when first iPhone came out.
2007? No, it's not 2007. It was
2009,
maybe somewhere there. Either way, we had smartphones before iPhone, but it's gonna get worse. Like technologies are gonna get more advanced. People are gonna be exposed to more information, and then more people are gonna have mental illnesses, as you said, and then I don't know what's gonna collapse.
The biggest frustration is that people are okay with it and they don't see dangers of it. And even if they see dangers of it, they see way too many superficial benefits of this technology at the moment. Let's go back to content creators, okay, on social media, because now they are the new thing. my biggest pet peeve right now, and something super infuriating to me, are mommy vloggers that use their kids for content. I just
I feel bad for those kids sometimes, to be honest, because
I get rage.
yeah.
Really, because it gets to the point where they really expose their kids vulnerable moments, online, and there is nothing anonymous anymore about their identity, because literally from the moment they're born, you have their weight on the internet, you have their name, the hospital they were born in, and then there is a picture of the house that they are bringing the baby to, and like, what
about those women that like give birth on live or have a C-section? No, that's a thing though. That's a thing. People do that. They have C-sections on live, and oh my god, there's this one woman. So before the war between Russia and Ukraine, I used to, like, obviously everyone used to be following, like, Ukrainians used to follow Russian people, stuff like that. There was this blogger. She wanted to make her boobs, okay?
Like augmentation.
Yeah, like make her boobs bigger, like implants.
Okay.
She had the whole operation live on Instagram. And people were watching it.
You see, yes, exactly. There are people that are watching it.
Gross, in my opinion. Like, I would never expose my body while I'm giving birth on Instagram lives and TikTok lives.
That's the thing. So you see, if it's your own boobs that it's your surgery, you're an adult, okay, if you decide to share that part, as effed up as it is, fine. It's you decide, okay?
Yeah.
And then your stupid audience watching it and paying for it. But, sorry, I shouldn't call anybody stupid, right? Like, audience, okay?
Confused
audience. But if you're exposing your kid in that way, that's wrong on so many levels, because that's their identity that you're playing with. There was this TikToker who gave birth. Now that we're on this subject, she gave birth and her baby wasn't well and was diagnosed with RSV or something, some virus, which is, could be deadly for a newborn.
Yeah.
And you know how she broke the news to the internet? She did the TikTok dance next to her baby with captions that it was diagnosed with this disease and, heart. So this is the level we are at.
Or what? Was she happy about it?
She said that's how she's dealing with it. This is the way. That's what I'm saying. Like, like I'm getting so frustrated. And then we come back to the technology topic of it all. Because now we have AI.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard, there is AI now that you're uploading picture of a woman and the AI immediately can make it naked. They can make the woman naked for you.
No, but I've recently, actually, yesterday started seeing this AI, which you put the picture in it and then it kind of like zooms out 0.5 on it.
Yeah, this trend I saw
TikTok,
it.
Yeah.
But no, there is AI that can literally take off the clothes of the woman. And funny enough, doesn't work on men. They developed it only for a woman. To get women naked. No. But please tell me how long it will take to, do some... Tell me how long it will take for predators to get their hands on, or already took.
No, they already took.
For
obviously.
predators, for kid predators to get their hands on this technology and use it to their advantage.
This is crazy. No, I think that's insane.
No, because talking about it on YouTube will get your video demonetized. Funny enough.
It's
bringing these things to light. Because all my videos, when I was exposing, let's say I was talking about this movie, what was it, Steve? The movie Sound of Freedom. Yes. It's a movie that exposes child trafficking, human trafficking, but sex trafficking of children.
Yeah.
It's based on real events and it's horrific, and grown-ass men were coming out of cinema in tears finding out what happens to kids that are kidnapped and sexually trafficked. So I did an episode about it.
Yeah.
Okay? Because you know,
It got
I covered the
demonetized.
topic, and it was demonetized immediately. Every short about it I did, even though I was like censoring words, you know, the problematic words and things like this. And apparently anyone who did the coverage of this movie or was trying to bring up events surrounding the movie, their videos were getting demonetized. So why?
Well, it's a bit, yeah. Because I guess those things, I don't know. I feel like those things should be talked about, but, you know,
Yes.
YouTube probably doesn't want
Problems
that
with pedophiles up there in
No,
higher
it's,
positions?
I don't know. Again, that's a very broad topic, and
It is.
I feel like YouTube's main interest is making money as a company. So again, I think money rules the world, and if anyone can see an opportunity where they can catch an amount of money and cash lines and shit like that, they're gonna do anything to even demonetize people.
It was a hot topic. It was
Yeah,
getting millions,
but-
so if they allowed the
Yeah.
ads on it, they would make money. I just feel like, I don't know. I'm just... Let's leave it.
Yeah, let's leave it. I have a last
Let's not
question
get your
for you.
channel in trouble.
It's okay, thanks. I have another question for you.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years? What do you want to do?
I hopefully will have more time with my kids than working.
Yeah.
That's my first goal.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully the way I'll be working is either on my channel or working for myself, basically.
Yeah.
Not for someone else.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoy doing YouTube, and I feel like this is somewhere where my passion lies.
Yeah.
I discovered it. I knew for a very long time that I wanted to do YouTube.
Mhm.
I just didn't know what.
Yeah.
And it took very long time to decide what niche, where I fell into. And this one just kind of came
Yeah.
naturally, finally, and organically. And we agreed because it's only me and my husband. It's kind of like you and your friend,
Yeah.
Borys. It's me and my husband only, and all the research and topics and editing and graphics and so on
Mm-hmm.
are... he doesn't want me to talk about. What? Wrong name. No name? I don't know.
Whatever.
Yes, so it's only me and my husband taking care of the channel and all the content, and we really want to grow it. I want it to go big,
Mm-hmm.
but not for like vanity
Yeah.
reasons. I feel like on our side of the world, there is not many content like that, because in America, you have
Yeah.
so many creators that do this type of content. I recently discovered actually anti-wokeness creators from Greece
Yeah.
that is doing content in Greece in Greek. So, but yeah, I feel that's what I want to do. But my biggest priority is my family at the moment, especially in those times. I want to be super involved in what my children are turning out to be like.
Makes sense.
I'm super controlling over this. I don't want
Yeah.
strangers to raise them. So hopefully I'll get to do that myself
That's
and
great.
teach them stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense, to be honest.
Where do you see yourself?
University, and then come back here.
What do you want to study?
Business,
Good.
and then probably like masters in marketing or something like that.
Nice.
I'll come back here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a very family person. I own my own family, so I have a family. And either way, I know what I'm gonna do. I know how I'm gonna make money. I have ideas, so I'll be fine.
That's good.
I'll
You'll
be
be
fine.
fine.
I'll be
Definitely.
fine. I
You'll
think
be
I'll
at
be
16, you have a podcast, honey. So I think you will be
I'm
fine.
guessing. Thank you so much for
Yes.
coming.
I
think
thank
this
you.
was a great talk, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah, this was great. Even Borys liked it. Yeah.
Even Borys.
Even
Is he
Borys.
the like measure?
He's against talking about politics and all those things. So.
Oh, I didn't know I was into politics until I started my channel, and people were like, "Oh, when was it that you got into politics?" I'm like, "I'm into politics now." Am I?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, thank you so
Yes.
much.
No, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks. Okay, we're done.